Hello and welcome to this video where I continue to show you how to format our first report. So formatting is a matter of preference because you are choosing the appearance, the colors, etc. So whereas I might prefer to see yellow and pink and light gray, somebody else might want some masculine colors on it, or a mixture, a rainbow, etc. So the important thing is that you know how to apply the appearance that you conceive in your mind. So firstly, I would like us to put the numbering of these rows. So the first record is a number 5, so I'll just put a 1 there. Then I put a simple formula to get my next number, which will be equal to that one plus 1. Okay, so because this is relative referencing, if I copy this one to here, it will now simply say this one plus 1. I copy it to here, this one plus 1. So I'll just copy it all the way down. So I can even copy it where there are no records, like as we said. We might need these records later on when we add to our source file. Then when you print, remember in Excel you select the print area, so you simply make sure your print area is selected up to here. You don't have to include these other rows where you don't have any information yet. Okay, so now we have our numbering. So the first thing I want is my company name. So because the company name must be centered, right? Must be centered. I want to transform this from 5 different columns into just one block. So I'm going to merge these cells. So you highlight them and then you right click and you go to format cells. So we want to go where it says alignment on format cells. That is where we find merge cells. So there are 2 other text control features which are useful. This one says shrink to fit. This allows you to shrink text so that it fits within the column. It doesn't have to wrap to make 2 lines in a particular cell. I'll demonstrate that shortly. And then the wrap text tells you that if the text is going beyond the borders of the cell to the right, you must wrap it to the next line. Right. So first of all, let me just do the merge cell and then I will demonstrate the other 2 for you. But for now, we will not be needing the other 2. I'm just demonstrating it. So if you come, for example, here on the name, if our column was forced to be this size and we couldn't go any bigger, then we have a choice of either changing this field using the format cells, then alignment. We could shrink to fit. Let's see what shrink to fit does. You can see that it shrinks the text. It finds the smallest or the biggest size that fits within that column width. Right, so that is shrink to fit. But alternatively, we could go back to format cells on alignment, remove the shrink to fit and put wrap text. Right, so wrap text now will wrap it or fold it to the next line. So instead of it trying to encroach into the next column or being cut off, it is going to wrap. So that is the use of that alignment. You can either combine cells like we did on the first one, or you can shrink so that it fits, or you can wrap so that it folds to the next line. So let me undo this, and then I will return my column width. So I want to combine also the next line, because I want a subheading, but I don't want to combine the whole of it. I want to combine only up to D, because in E I want to put the date of the report. So I'll combine from here up to D. So right click, format cells, alignment, and merge cells. Merge cells, and you click OK. So we said we want to put the date in E. Do you still remember the today function? Equal to today, and you press enter. So that gives you today's date. So in other words, if you are printing this report today, the day you are printing it is what appears here. You don't want to type a fixed date, because if you fix it later, you'll come and print for the next month, then you forget to change the date and it becomes a wrong report. So it's always best to put today so that it gives you the actual date when you're printing. So what we can do is format this date. I can right click, then go back to format cells, then I go to number, and then on the date I can scroll down to see the format that I want for that date. So let me choose this one that says March 14, 2012. So that is how my date is going to look like. So it's up to you the kind of format that you want on your date. So on top I'm going to put my company name, Foundation for Business Technology, CC. Right, then I need to center this. So I can either right click and find that shortcut, or just come to home and alignment here and choose the center. And then on the next one, I want the title of the report. I'll simply say employee basic data. That's what I choose to call my report. So I'm going to change the size, font, and color of my heading. So I come here, change the size maybe to 18, 16, and then my font, I can also change the font to something fancy, and then color, I make it red. And employee data, change the font to Arial, and I can keep the size, and I will change the color. Right. So my report is already starting to take shape. Then the next thing I want is to also format my headings. So on the headings, what I probably want is to simply bold them. Right, so I'll just make them bold. And then next, to make it easier to read, I want to put borders around the information. So I highlight all the information. Right, so because the information might increase, I'll just put my highlight all the way to the bottom, and then right click and go to format cells, and then go to border. So on the border, we want the outline. So the outline will be the line that goes right around the whole report. And then this one which says inside, it gives you the lines on the columns as well as on the rows. So you can actually click to remove or to add back. So like in this case, I have removed all the inside lines that go down. So the way this one would appear would be with the border on the outside and only with lines that are going across. But if I did that, it means now I've removed the lines going across. Now you only have the border and lines that are going down. But for this purpose, I need both the horizontal and vertical lines, and then I press OK. So you can see that my report is already starting to look presentable. Right, and then one more thing, I'm going to highlight these fields, and then I come to this fill color, click on it. I could also have right clicked and then find my fill color here, so just depends which one you find easier. Right, so now you can just hover over the colors and see which one you prefer. Right, so for myself, I prefer colors that are light on the eyes. Right, you don't want something that makes the eyes to work a lot to try and focus. So you need to be a bit gentle on the eyes with your coloring. So personally, there is certain information which, if it is critical, I also would like to highlight. Like if a certain report is mainly to show people's job titles or when they started etc., I would also highlight that particular column that I want to people to pay attention to, so that that color, it makes people to jump their eyes to that specific column. So a person will think, what is the reason that this person has highlighted this column? So this is a very basic format, but which looks quite professional. Right, so I know some people, especially ladies, will put a lot of colors, the pinks, the fills, the underlines, etc. Just make sure that your format, its most important purpose is to make the report as readable as possible, because the report is only as useful as the information. Okay, so I would like you to try and do something like this before you get to the next video, because in the next video I'm going to start another report here on G, which has got a different set of columns. So in other words, what we are demonstrating is that we can have a number of different reports extracted from the same source of data, and when we change that data, it also affects our different reports. So let's see you complete your own first report, and then we meet in the next video.